Welcome to the Sports Guys. Another weekend recap, another busy weekend of sports. We are heading into the real games. We just had some real college games this past weekend. We got some big ones coming up this coming weekend. We got baseball heating up with about a month left, and we have NFL fast approaching and fantasy. So, how you doing, Robbie?
Doing great. Real busy week. This is opening week for the boys in school. So, and they're playing two sports right now. So it's about as busy as I can possibly do.
It is. It's really tough right now.
Good.
Really tough. Great weekend though this weekend down in Myrtle Beach. Really
Mm-hmm.
great hanging out with you guys. Had a fun time and saw some
Yeah, it was good.
friends in one of our friends' bands. So that was a really good time. And we got to catch some football along the way. Any thoughts about the college games that we saw on Saturday? There were only 5 of them.
Oh, just the Iowa State in Ireland was really cool. It's
Yeah,
good stuff. Kind of a little choppy at first, but there was definitely it was nice to. It felt like real time college football.
it did. It was week 0, which is a new concept where they basically play a week ahead of the rest of the schedule. Week 0, and this was the leadoff game, Iowa State, Kansas State. Kansas State has been picked to win the Big 12. Iowa State, of course, is a very good team, and
Yeah.
I was not totally shocked to see them pull this game out 24-21. Really solid game. Was terrible play in the first half. I mean, just it's very sloppy. Kansas State muffed a punt inside their 10-yard line on their first drive. Then Iowa State gets the ball on the second play, trying to run it in the end zone. They fumble it and give it back.
Yeah.
It was just there was interceptions all over the place. So then in the
Well,
second half, the teams kind of pulled themselves together and they actually played a really solid second half. It was good football.
I think the rain was definitely a big factor in the beginning, and it. I think it was something they adjusted to and got kind of control of.
Hmm.
Kansas State definitely showed why they were considered a possible favorite in that game. Um, they really got a lot of yardage and they did a lot of good things, but I think Iowa State just made enough plays and played hard and
Well, they had
made
Beck
fewer
come back.
mistakes.
He's a pretty experienced
Mm.
quarterback at this point. Matt Campbell's one of the best coaches in the country, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I hate to tell Luke this, but I think one of these days he's going to end up one of the top 5, top 10 programs. And so I hope Iowa State can keep him for the long term. But he's a really excellent coach. And I think in the end he was the difference. So
I like to watch the games and then go back to the stats and kind of see if they reflect what I watched to sort of validate my thoughts on what I watched. And one of the biggest factors, I think Iowa State had 1 penalty for 5 yards, and K State had 6 for 48. And I think
true.
that just reflected on kind of the mistakes made. It was, clearly another one that was kind of interesting was Iowa State 3 for 3 on fourth down, and K
Hmm.
State was 1 for 4.
Hmm.
So there were just some anomalies like that, but K State had more yardage, and Iowa State ran the ball better, and K State threw the
True.
ball better. So
It's true. And Iowa State's
it
defense
was a good
was
matchup.
slightly better. I thought their defense just made some really
Yeah,
big plays in the second half. Big tackles to stop
very
guys.
physical. Yeah,
They stopped them on 4th and 1 twice in the second half, so those were big stops. So that
but
was cool to see.
both quarterbacks had very similar stats. They
Yeah.
both had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Mhm.
Yardage was similar, um, etc. So
And then Kansas, also in the Big 12, a really solid team last year. They were kind of one of those teams you don't wanna play at the end of the year. They
mhm.
won 3 out of their last 4, and this year start off with a win. And they, last year proved they were one of the best running teams in football, and it happened again over the weekend. They had 190 yards rushing, and they've got that really big back who's almost unstoppable. So it was pretty fun to watch
Yeah,
Kansas get back on the board with another win.
yeah,
And then the Stanford-Hawaii game was really interesting because you had this Japanese kid who a year ago had never seen football before, and he started watching field goal kicking videos on YouTube a year ago, and he got
yeah,
so interested in it that he started kicking with an American who was living over in Japan at the time who used to play football. He started kicking and training with him, And then he eventually got a walk-on try with Hawaii in spring practice
Mhm.
and goes on to make the team, and now he's the starting kicker for Hawaii. And
That's
he
cool.
hadn't even seen football a year ago.
Yeah.
And then he ends up making the winning kick against Stanford. It's just you can't even write this stuff. It's just unbelievable. He makes the winning kick.
Yeah, that
So,
was a pretty exciting game. It wasn't like
yeah,
high level football, but it was exciting, you know?
yeah, yeah, and it looks like Stanford might be the worst team in the ACC, like everyone's predicting. They're
Probably.
not a great team. So, any other sports strike your fancy coming out of the weekend?
Oh, just all kinds of stuff. Just lots of NFL and
For
baseball's
me,
cooking.
for me, Cal Raleigh was the big story. He
Oh,
broke
Raleigh, yeah.
the all-time home run record for a catcher.
Mhm.
He just hit his 49th.
Yeah, he had his
And
48th and 9th in the same game.
and then he also broke Ken Griffey's almost all of his slugging records. So he's now the top slugger for the Seattle Mariners of all time, breaking
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr. So he's essentially broken about every record he can this year. And this is a kid no one ever heard of. So really, really cool to see this Florida State grad really getting the notoriety this year. He had that huge performance in the home run derby, and then
Mhm.
he's just absolutely crushing the ball this year. So I'm a huge fan of his. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, he's been consistently good, and there's no let up. There's no, you know, reality setting in for him. I mean, he just keeps like he's going to be here for a while. I think it's not
Mhm.
just a flash in the pan. Somebody who
Mhm.
just gets hot. I mean, I think he's worked his way up into being this really great player.
And did you see his 48th was left-handed and his 49th was right-handed? So, I mean, not only is he hitting 50 home runs, but he's doing it switch hitting, which is, we haven't seen that in a long time, that kind of capability. Maybe if ever at catcher.
Mhm.
So, pretty cool. So, other story today is the cut downs came out. Obviously, this is the dreaded day for many, many dreams in the NFL. A lot of guys got cut that were hoping they would make a team. But in terms of some of kind of the major ones that I noticed, a lot of the quarterbacks that were kind of third, fourth type range quarterbacks on all the teams
Mhm.
got cut. Cardinals cut Clayton Tune, which is a guy that everyone thought was going to be their third quarterback. He got cut.
Mhm.
Um, Raiders stole Amari Cooper from the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone thought he was signing with Dallas yesterday. And then apparently this morning, for some reason, he switched and went to the Raiders. The Trey Hendrickson deal got done, so he's returning to Cincinnati for a one-year deal, which was pretty interesting. The Panthers cut both Jake Plummer and Bryce Perkins, two of their quarterbacks. They only have two on the roster now. Apparently, they're
Mhm.
hoping at least one of those guys will be able to sign on to their practice squad, maybe both.
Yeah.
Um,
The
so that
Browns
was
sent Pickett to the Raiders,
mhm,
so that's a big move. So that kind of tells you where they're going with their rookies. You know.
mhm. And then Joe Mixon is not going to play the first 4 games of the year for the Texans, which is a huge
Yeah.
loss for them. He's a big kind of part of their overall engine at the Texans. So that's going to hurt. Hendon Hooker, who everyone thought was going to be the third QB in Detroit, got cut. They're hoping that he can join their practice squad. They kept Kyle Allen instead. Um, Jacoby Myers
Mhm.
demanded a trade over the weekend
Yeah.
of the Raiders, and they're about to start the season. It was such a weird trade that he demanded. Basically,
A
it's like I
bunch
don't
of
want.
players are on their way to the Raiders, and he's asking for a trade
Yeah.
out.
It's like I don't want to be here anymore. I don't
They're
like
in flux.
the way they're treating me.
Yeah.
Shiloh Sanders got cut by the Bucks. That was a
Yeah.
little surprising because he had a pretty good camp. But when you really look at his stats, and we'll look at them tonight, you'll realize that he actually really didn't have a very good camp when it comes to his playing time. His stats were not very good.
Mhm.
Eagles cut Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and they cut Kyle McCord. That surprised me. He was the rookie. They
Mhm.
took a draft pick on him. Um, Tyler Huntley, Browns, of course, he was cut. Peoples-Jones and Cam Akers, the Saints cut both of them. So surprising that they cut the depth at running back. And then were there any other ones here? Those are some of the big ones. And of course,
The
Terry
main ones.
McLaurin with his big deal.
Yeah,
That
everybody
was,
got their deal done today by today, but except for Micah Parsons.
right. I don't think there was anybody else really massive that got cut today that was a surprise. I mean, just a lot of the guys who were fourth-string quarterbacks trying to hold on. So
I was a little surprised at the Hendrickson deal.
Mhm.
It's kind of interesting because it's not as much. It's not as much like we want to lock him up for years and get him situated. It's more like we can't afford to go this year without him, so we're gonna sign him to a 1 year deal and let him be a free agent after this.
They basically gave him the money he wanted for 1 year, which
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's
He
the money
didn't
he
he didn't
wanted.
want 1 year really. He wanted more, but he said,
Mhm.
"Fine, I'll bet on myself and I'll get the 30 million or whatever it is, something similar to that. And I'll just go through this again next year."
Mhm. So the only guy outstanding who's a big-time name is Micah. And,
Mhm.
of course, you had the big, scandal that happened on Saturday where he was taking a nap on the sideline on a stretcher.
Yeah.
So any thought about that? Is that concerning? They said they were gonna handle it internally. What does that mean? I mean, he's been very engaged all of camp. I will give him credit for that. He's been listening on the headphones. He's been at every practice. But any concern there that he's sleeping on the sideline in a preseason game?
Not really. Sometimes you have to understand what's going on to really. I remember last year, I think it was AJ Brown
Mhm.
who was reading a book that has to do with like being a winner and challenging yourself, and he apparently he always read that book, but they said he wasn't engaged because he was reading. And apparently, every time he reads it, he goes out and just tears it up. So I mean, he's doing it to get himself mentally right,
To
you know.
motivate, yeah.
So you
Mhm.
have to kind of understand the whole thing. They took it as he's not focused, he's not engaged with his team. So
Well,
you
they're
just gotta
gonna handle it
understand.
internally, and I don't think it's a good look when you're taking a
No,
nap while your team's playing. I don't care if it's preseason or not. It's not a good look. So they'll take care of it internally. I don't think
it,
it's a huge deal.
it shows that you don't really want to be there.
He doesn't wanna be there. He's been trying to get out of there the whole time,
Yeah.
and, Jerry Jones is not allowing him to do so, so
Hmm.
but it's still not a good look for him professionally. If
No,
you're gonna be a
because
professional.
getting out of there means you're going somewhere else, and you're not impressing another team with that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
You need to be on your best behavior to make it so that a team wants to date you, so to
And
speak.
also, as a player, you want people to buy your jersey, you want fans to like you and all that, and
Yeah,
he's sitting there sleeping in front of the fans.
and
It's not a
you're
good look.
mad because you're not making your 30 million. The fans aren't gonna like sympathize with you that much.
It's true.
So anyway,
Let's go take a look at the material for tonight.
do it. Putting some money on some games and put a little juice in there. You know what I mean? Get
Yeah.
a little excited about something. You grab onto couple of pieces of information. You think you know what's going to happen, and you go ahead do some parlays.
Yeah,
And
whether we're a small time bettor, which you and I are,
yeah,
or a big time bettor, we put 20 bucks or 40 bucks on a game, and it just gives it that little added juice. You're right.
love it.
So what do you think about
They do-
DraftKings, fantasy leagues too? That's another really cool area to try.
Yeah, they do a great job. I was combing through there looking for information, and I was looking at their lists. They got some lists that of some of the players in there that do their fantasy league. So
Mhm.
I think that's a really cool feature, and it's a really neat company. You know, they're doing it
It is.
right.
They do a really great job. I really enjoy using DraftKings. So guys, go to DraftKings.com or you can download the DraftKings app and set up your account today. There's a 100% bonus up to $100, which is a great deal. Go ahead and take advantage of that if you're a new customer and enjoy DraftKings for this football season.
Yeah, they always have some good deals, so keep your eye out and let it add some fun to your football season too.
We'll see you next time.
See.
All right, this is our college football is here episode. I am so pumped, even though it was week 0. You had these couple of games we talked about already. You had that Iowa State game, which is up top there in Ireland. They had 68,000 fans.
Hmm.
And Iowa State was by far represented by more fans. There's a lot of red in the stands, and I just have to compliment Luke's team for the way they travel. I had no idea there'd be all those Iowa State fans in Ireland. Pretty cool.
Hmm.
And then you had that Kansas game with that great running game and their running quarterback who also had a lot of yardage. And then Western Kentucky put on an absolute show. They've got a really
Yeah.
solid quarterback this year. So again, it was just fun to see real live action, real games, even though it was week 0. It just gets you
Yeah, it was good.
pumped up for this weekend where we got Ohio State, Texas on noon on Saturday. It's going to be
Can't wait.
just incredible. Cannot wait for that one. In the NFL, of course, you had the Cleveland Browns saga finally come to an end. They went with Shador, QB3, Dillon, QB2, and Flacco as the starter. And Flacco's going to start week 1, and he'll probably start until he gets some kind of injury. But any thoughts about that? They went ahead and cut their 4th-string guy.
I guess they feel really comfortable with Dylan Gabriel
Yeah.
as a guy who's ready to go in if.
I was watching that Chase Daniels video where he breaks down both of their games. I sent it over to you. I know you didn't have time to watch it yet, but he really breaks down how he thinks Gabriel is mechanically better right now than Shador in so many different ways. And that
Yeah, and it's not just that. There's a internal coaches are speaking off the record, and they're saying that they trust Dylan Gabriel to run the plays that are being called. Apparently, Shador will call the play, but wing it if he feels like something else needs to happen.
he riffs
And
too much for
they don't
event.
trust him. Yeah, they don't trust him yet. It's not
He
that they don't like him. They don't trust that he'll stay with the play called
right.
and go along with what the offense coordinator is trying to get done.
That's right. And Dylan Gabriel, by the way, is getting the ball out a full second earlier
Yeah,
than Shador Sanders,
and
which
part of
is
that
huge in the NFL.
because he's doing his drop and go, and Shador is kind of like, let's see what happens. So
Right.
he's holding the ball longer, taking more sacks.
So any surprise they went with the 2 rookies as 2 and 3?
A little bit. I wouldn't have drafted both of them, but I would have drafted the one of them I liked the most and had Pickett as my backup. So I have a young veteran. He's a veteran, but he's young. I'd have a solid older veteran, and then I'd have a young guy learning as an apprentice, learning how to become a quarterback.
I think in that scenario, they would have kept Dylan Gabriel. I mean, that's what it seems like. They think he's
This
a little
reminds
closer.
me a lot of
Yeah,
RG3 and Kirk Cousins.
it does.
Reminds me a
There's a lot
lot
of
of that.
it.
I'm not sure why. It just does.
So another big story, of course, is Scary Terry. Terry McLaurin signs his big deal. He held out all of camp. I think that's what he wanted to do anyway. He was coming off a very small injury, came
Mm-hmm.
off the PUP list, and now he says he is going to be 100% on week 1. He's ready to go against the Giants, which is in 2 weeks. So thoughts about what that does to the Commanders, their chances this year in the NFC?
Well, everyone's called him Daniels' security blanket, and that's exactly what he is. He is so valuable to that team because he provides the leadership, the experience, calmness, and the follow me guys attitude.
Right.
Like, I don't care if we're gonna lose today. I'm gonna put some points on the board right here. Like,
One of the reasons I thought he should get paid is he went through 5 or 6 years of just
yeah,
misery in Washington. He just
misery,
stuck it out with all those bad teams and all those bad
unsteady
quarterbacks.
quarterback play.
And now he
Yeah,
plays with this joy because the team's good.
yeah,
And he's just loving it because he actually has a team that can compete. So
yep.
it's I don't know. I'm really happy for him. He's still only
Me
the
too.
6th highest paid guy. So it's not
And
like they went
this is
all
the time to
crazy.
do it while your quarterback's on a rookie deal.
That's right. The other big story is Jackson Dart might have been the most impressive of all the rookie quarterbacks. I think he was. But
He he was
he in
decent.
the
I think he's
he
getting a little overhyped.
he in the press conference before the season started said, "Look, Russell Wilson's our quarterback. He played well in camp. Didn't put as much on film as I did because they wanted me to get playing time. But he's like, I'm 100% behind him in the QB room. I'm really happy that I get to learn behind him." Basically, Jackson Dart said all the right things, and I was just really happy to see that he's this mature, that he knows that he's
Yeah.
QB2 and this isn't his time. So he said all the right things. I was happy about that. I think they got a special quarterback there one day.
I definitely think that he's got a lot of potential.
He does.
I think he's got good people around him advising him well on what to say and how to handle himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's learning from the veteran quarterbacks. Like he's doing a lot of playing around just to like get that camaraderie,
And
doing
he
the
and
eating
Cam
crab legs
Scatterbo,
with Jameis and stuff.
yeah, Jameis and he
Um,
and Cam Scatterbo have that special relationship already, so they're going to be
yeah.
together for a long time.
So it's kind of a perfect fit for him to be in there
It is.
behind two veterans,
It
and
really is.
it looks like he's kind of winning QB2. But I feel like he's still looking to Jameis for advice.
Mm-hmm.
I love when young quarterbacks are not full cups, that you can pour into them and they realize, hey, I need to learn a lot of stuff here. I know a lot of stuff, but I need to learn a lot of stuff.
And they also announced they're dropping Tommy DeVito to the practice squad, which isn't a surprise to everybody because they really like him around the organization. So
Yeah.
it's a big story in baseball. Of course, we mentioned Cal Raleigh, all the different
Mhm.
records he's broken this year. He's got Seattle, one of the hottest teams in baseball, and he's just shattered every catcher record you can do from the both sides of the plate. So just incredible to watch his career, and everybody's really rooting for him. He's just kind of a really likable guy. Has a real likable family, and you think he's going to be a big time star in this league?
I think he's been doing it all year long. I think he's here. He's for real. He's arrived. He You don't get much more on the biggest stage of the All-Star game. There's not much stage that prepares you more for the World Series where everyone around the country is watching. It's not some regional matchup. Um, and he went out there and won it. So I mean, I
So
know
if he's
that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about somebody throwing you meatballs and you're smashing home runs, but I mean, you're going up against the best, and he
so
did it.
if he's shattering every catcher record, and he's already shattered Ken Griffey Jr.'s hitting records, is it just a matter of now he needs to sustain it for the next 10 years? I mean, he could be kind
Yeah,
of a Hall of Fame level kind of player. I mean,
no question.
he's got that kind of capability. So
Yeah, and we'll see.
we'll see what happens. He's
Catcher's a
got to
physical
sustain it.
position,
That's right.
so it's tough to maintain that for a long period of time, but
It is.
it can be done.
So looking at this week 0, looking at the scores, Iowa State wins 24-21 in that first half sloppy, second half really solid game.
Yeah,
Beck to look good. He was their returning quarterback. Kansas
he
State
did.
quarterback looked very good.
They both look
Johnson.
good. Very, very similar stats. Very good
It,
performances for
it's
week one,
interesting.
especially.
It's interesting because in our college football preview episode a couple weeks ago, we mentioned Johnson for K State and we mentioned Beck for
Mhm.
Iowa State as two of
Yeah,
the more senior, more experienced guys in the Big 12, and they really showed out.
yeah.
So I think both of these teams will have a very good season. I know Kansas State's smarting right now because they were thinking they were going to cruise to the victory in the Big 12, but I think they played a really solid Iowa State team. Both of them ranked,
Hmm.
so really fun to watch that game. UNLV wins 38-31 in a game with very little defense against
Yeah,
Idaho State. They both rolled up 500 yards in offense and more. You had this kid Cook for Idaho State with 380 yards passing and a loss. Pretty incredible to see some of the offense that some of these bad teams roll up. So that was a fun one. I watched those highlights.
yeah.
Kansas, I mentioned, just ran all over Fresno State. It's a pretty good
Hmm.
football program, but
It wasn't much of a matchup.
Kansas really has it rolling, and I'm thinking teams in the Big 12 need to watch Kansas. They're a really good team
Yeah,
this year. You know,
I guess Kansas State's gonna be a
it's gonna be a great game.
pretty good matchup. Yeah,
I think Big 12 is underrated. I told you that earlier. I really
yeah.
think they're underrated. I think they might have passed the ACC now, and I hate to say that, but
I hate to say it too. I think it's possible.
it feels like they're at least more spread out in terms of their talent. So that was a fun game to watch. Then you had Sam Houston take on Western Kentucky, and this kid from Western Kentucky was just on fire. It was wild to
Yeah,
watch. MacGyver. He was 33 for 51 for 401 and 3 touchdowns. Just a total dream game that this
yeah.
kid had. They couldn't stop him. So that was a really fun game to watch. And then, of course, the nightcap was Hawaii Stanford. Stanford was winning the game almost the entire time,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally Hawaii gets it tied, and then they get
They
the
made a
ball.
big bonehead error
Yes,
where the guy throws the other guy on the ground.
right. And then Hawaii gets the ball with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left
Yeah,
at their 12-yard line after a punt. And it's 20-20, and everyone's thinking, well, this is looking like it's probably going to overtime, but let's see what we can do. So they start driving, and they get down into position, and they're about 39 yards out for this Japanese kid who is playing in his first college game and goes up there and nails the 39-yarder for the win. Pretty amazing.
that's cool.
Yeah, what a dream start for him. Any other takeaways from college football week 0?
Not so much. Just it was really fun to flip around and see games on, and they're live. Like
Yeah.
uh, starting to see, a few of the teams in there that might be relevant towards the end of the year. And
This might be the best college football season ever. I'm feeling like everybody got better. It just feels that way. I think it's
yeah,
going to be a really good season. I'm excited about it.
a lot of good quarterbacks came back this year too.
Some
A
training
lot,
camp.
lot of good quarterbacks coming out in the draft next year.
You're right. You're right. Training camp updates. Eagles kick the tires on their newest wide receiver, John Mechie III. Got quite a bit of playing time. They were trying to see if he was going to be like a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 for them. Played really well again. This was his third preseason game where he had solid action. And hauled in a 14-yard pass on the first place from scrimmage against the starting corner. So it looks like they might have a keeper there in Mechie.
Mm-hmm.
Jets rookie safety makes some noise in the final. Of course, the Jets have been really bad on all fronts in this camp and also in preseason. But apparently, the one guy that they feel really excited about is this guy Malachi Moore, who's a fourth
Mm-hmm.
round pick, and he's just been making impressive play after impressive play the entire camp. So I don't know if you can feel really good about the Jets' chances this year in this season, but they do seem to have found a really great guy in the fourth round. Milton ends preseason on a high note. So Cowboys backup quarterback Milton concluded his well-publicized August run by leading 4 scoring drives to earn Dallas its first preseason win this year. So again, thoughts about Milton. We've talked about him a couple of times in this
I,
camp.
I think he's been a sleeper quarterback for 2 years now. I think he's a talented player. He has a really strong arm, and I think we're just kind of waiting for him to get his shot.
Mm-hmm. He probably won't get a lot of playing time this year, but I think he will get some. And
Oh, Dak can get hurt.
I think he'll be ready. Dak will get hurt. I almost guarantee it. I just
Yeah,
don't know when. I don't know if it'll be second half of the year, the 12th game of the year, whatever it'll be. But
right.
Milton will be ready. Caleb and company struggle early but finish strong. So Caleb had a really nice kind of week 2 performance and then really struggled. And they left him in longer than they were planning to in preseason game 3 because they wanted to see him lead a couple of drives, and he did. They ended up having a really impressive showing with Caleb leading 2 touchdown drives, and then, of course, his backup doing the rest.
Yeah, they want the Bills.
Do you feel like Caleb is ready this year? Is he going to show out like he's the number 1 pick?
It's possible. I'm not counting on it like everyone else, but it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got some mental issues that need to be matured his way out of. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been advised poorly by his family,
Mm-hmm.
saying that he deserves part ownership of the team and all this stuff. He just thought way too much of himself. He didn't come in like a normal rookie. And then
Mm-hmm.
he was anointed, and then you're the starter. And he's just kind of learning the rough way of
He's got a
getting humbled.
posse and all this. It's just,
Yeah, he
yeah.
needs to be humbled, which is happening now. And then
Mm-hmm.
he needs to be surrounded by the right coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have good coaching there now. I'm not sure, but I'm sure
He
his
does have
advisors
better
are still in
coaching than
debate.
last year. He has more offensive coaching than he did last year, so that's a good thing. That's gonna really help him, I think.
Hmm.
So, oh, shoot. So next one is Mahomes, Chiefs starters overcome stumbles in 3 fruitful drives. This is something Andy Reid really wanted to see, and he let him stay out there for the first 3 drives, and they really did some damage. He was 8 for 13 for 143 yards, including a really nice one to Tyquan Thornton for 58 yards. He also had a 4-yard touchdown to Rashee Rice. It was nice to see Rice get back in the mix. So thoughts about Mahomes, Chiefs? Are you buying this? They're gonna take a huge step back this year. I don't know why I don't seem to be buying it.
Not a huge one. I think
Interesting that they open up in Brazil too. That's kind of an interesting
the strength of the team
opening.
was their corners, and they let one of them go. I don't know. I think offensive line always gets banged up, and they end up going to the Super Bowl with like one starter or two starters. It's always
I mean,
questionable.
the take I saw recently was they were gonna be 9 and 8. I'm sorry, I'm just not buying that. They were 15 and 1 last year.
Yeah, they're better than 9 and 8.
9 and 8? No. They're just a really solid organization. Could I see them maybe
They're
losing
probably
a
like 13-4, something.
Yeah. Could they maybe lose second round of the playoffs? Possibly. I mean, one of these years they'll have a down year, but
They'll
a
probably
down
make it
year
to the AFC Championship game.
what's a down year for the Chiefs? Like, not
Yeah,
winning the Super Bowl, you know what I mean?
right.
So, their down year most people would take. So, Jalen Milroe needs reps was the take coming out of this weekend. And he was trying to, really show out here and earn a roster spot. What are your thoughts about Milroe and his possibility of maybe getting into the mix? He's a
Uh,
3rd
I
round pick.
I think he's a classic rookie who's got a lot of potential. I think he needs to sit and watch, and I think judging him on reps when you're trying to learn everything at full speed is difficult. It's almost counterproductive to really assess people for the long term.
And they were trying to compare him to Jordan Love, and I thought that was very unfair. I mean, Jordan
Mhm.
Love's he sat for 3 years, and then he's been a full-time starter. This is his 3rd year full-time starter, and that's just not a good comparison. Jordan Love's a polished pro by now.
Yeah,
So, but, he's got potential. I think Jalen Milroe is gonna be a real developmental guy for about 3 years. He's just not ready yet.
most likely. Yeah,
He was a developmental guy with Alabama last year. So,
yeah.
him fumbling twice in the first half doesn't surprise me at all. He was just kind of nervous and jittery. So, so Miami, they had a really nice pass rushing group in the first half. This is a group you want to see, Robbie. They had
Uh-huh.
Bradley Chubb, Chop Robinson, and Jalen Phillips all together. And when they were all together in this first half, they were just absolutely dominating the offensive line of Jacksonville.
I believe it.
It was kind of sad to watch. So, are we gonna see this threesome the whole year?
God, I don't know.
Are they gonna get nicked up? Are they gonna
All
be?
three have a little bit of a history of injuries, so
Because man, when they're on the field together, it's
I
something.
know it is.
So, you don't even wanna make a prediction, do
I don't.
you?
They can stay together and stay healthy out there. They can do a lot of damage.
Boy, it was fun to watch
Yeah.
them dominate. Shiloh Sanders waived by the Bucks after being ejected from the preseason game. Do you think the ejection had something to do with it? Do you think
I
he was
do. I
on
think
his
that
way
he
to
was on
getting
the
cut?
bubble. They
Yeah.
were seriously considering cutting him already, and then that was the final straw. They didn't just
Mhm.
say, "Oh, he got in a fight, let's cut him." I think they said he'll determine whether he's gonna be on this team with what he does today, and then he goes out, gets in a fight, isn't doing very well actually, and he gets cut.
So how do you feel about all the naysayers out there who are saying that Shiloh Sanders and Shedeur Sanders aren't getting a fair shake and that the NFL is against them and that,
No,
that
NFL
everyone's
would love for them
conspiring?
to land on a squad. It
I
would
think
be
it's
good
just
for
the
ratings.
opposite. It'd be amazing for ratings.
Yeah,
So those people who say that, I just don't believe it. I'm sorry.
no, I think they're
I
just
think,
wrong.
yeah, I think that they want these guys to be really good.
Yeah,
But it was pretty clear Shiloh Sanders is not his dad when it comes to being a cornerback. and
No, he's not.
he's a little slow. I think they should shift him to safety potentially because he's pretty strong,
Yeah.
and he's got a good nose for the ball. So, we'll see. We'll see where he ends up landing. Shedeur Sanders expects Brown's roster spot despite his struggles. He really played poorly, in his preseason game this weekend, so much so that they ended up pulling him out towards the end of the game so he wouldn't get hurt, because he was behind the third string offensive line, and they were getting absolutely torched. Thoughts about Shedeur? Is there anything we can take from this game? Giving up 3 sacks, just
I
looking
really
really
think they
really
pulled him
poor.
because they wanted to see Huntley in a, goal line situation.
Mhm.
But I think it's overstated to say that he was terrible. I mean, he wasn't good. He held the ball too long. He looked a little lost. But, I mean, what do you
Well,
expect from rookies?
what was
That's what I
interesting was
expect.
which is interesting is he was missing wide open routes where guys were coming free that he was hitting in the Panther game, and nobody can figure out why that is, why he wasn't
Yeah.
pulling the trigger. Because, like, if you watch that video I was talking about with Chase Daniels, he shows it. He shows many times in that game where guys were wide open to the flat, right, wide open over the middle, and he just wasn't pulling the trigger. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just mechanics.
I think the
Um,
number one thing you're looking for from veterans is consistency.
mhm.
Consistently being good in every category. I think,
He's gotta learn that he cannot hold it 3 seconds. That's just not gonna
yeah,
work. He's gotta get it out.
rookies
Gotta
are
get it out.
way up and then way down, way up, way down. They're not consistent.
He's got all the capability in the world. He's gotta work on his mechanics, and he's gotta work on his decision making. He's gotta get it out in 2 seconds. So that's his path to playing in the NFL pretty much. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Browns think they found their tight end of the future with 3rd round pick Hannon. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, 3rd round pick
Fannin.
Harold Fannin.
Yeah.
He only played 6 preseason snaps in the opener and sat out the game against the Eagles, but then comes in and has an incredible game on the field, 11 of the first 17 snaps, and gets a nice 15-yard touchdown in that span. Thoughts about this kid? Can he be a contributor, potentially a starter?
I think so. I think there's a lot of talent on that team. Uh, they're kind of figuring out the quarterback position, but I think
Mhm.
it's a great spot for him.
Apparently, he and Flacco have built a nice chemistry in practice,
Yeah.
so he's gonna get him the ball and the other tight ends too, of course. You got Njoku, who's one of the best. So you get Njoku and Fannin on the field together, now you got a couple different options.
Yeah.
So backup QB trouble in DC. Washington has concerns behind Jaden Daniels. Marcus Mariota has been sidelined with an Achilles tendonitis problem, and they just let Sam Hartman go. So they're
Yeah.
essentially now sitting there with 2 quarterbacks, one who's hurt. What are your thoughts about that? They have Josh Johnson as well. They brought him in really to be kinda like their practice squad guy, but looks like he could get some playing time if Daniels got hurt.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to bring Hartman back.
You think?
I don't
Like
know. Maybe.
practice squad maybe?
Yeah.
He really struggled those last 2 preseason games. He had 3
Yeah.
picks in the last one. So, he really doesn't look like he's ready to play.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. A little concerning. They're very thin at QB, which, is surprising because you thought they had it kinda covered with Mariota.
Yeah.
Rams rookie enjoys first NFL action. That's second-round tight end Terrence Ferguson, and he looked really good. He had 2 catches for 48 yards. He had a couple really nice, blocks as well in the running game. So they might have found themselves a nice target as well in Terrence Ferguson. Any thoughts there?
I think it's exciting for them. The Rams really know how to develop people, and I think that that's a good spot for him to be.
Did you notice a lot of these teams now have two-headed monsters at tight end?
Yeah.
And a lot of them have a really good starter and a really good second guy. So that's a new trend, I think, in the NFL. They're not just blocking tight ends anymore.
No, it's great for moving the chains,
Mm-hmm.
keeping drives alive.
I mean, he makes a 33-yard catch over his shoulder against a DB. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Lions rookie wide receiver electric again. That's Tesla. This guy has just been incredible for the Lions in the preseason, and they were thinking he was going to be buried very deep on the depth chart, but they're thinking they almost have to play him now
Yeah.
because he makes such electric catches across the middle and down the sideline. So thoughts about this guy? Can Tesla get some playing time with the
It's a
Lions?
talented roster.
Yeah.
But when you're making waves, you're earning it very um, running away, I guess.
And by the way, apparently this throw from Kyle Allen to him for 33-yard score is what gave Kyle Allen the QB3 spot. That's apparently it was so impressive that they ended up giving Kyle Allen a roster spot. So interesting to see Tesla as he develops this year.
Yeah.
Houston's having a running back issue. Joe Mixon all of a sudden is not going to play the first 4 games of the year. Nick Chubb didn't play on Sunday. He has a toe issue. And then Dameon Pierce has a calf injury. So basically, their top 3 guys are all hurt.
Yeah. And a lot of people are analyzing Nick Chubb looking like he's really lost a step.
Mm-hmm.
He's not explosive.
Right. He's got a right toe issue, apparently. So although he is the least injured of the 3, he's
Yeah.
not 100%. So what are they going to do here? Are they going to work around the running game? Are they going to do little short passes? They have a lot of good receivers.
I mean, they can do all the above, really.
Yeah. And until they get all 3 of these guys back to healthy, essentially.
Yeah.
So Cowboys, Trayvon Diggs, who's had a knee issue in the offseason, just taken off the PUP list. He's really trying to get into shape for week 1 so he can actually play. And then the Bills released cornerback Trey Herndon, which was a big surprise. They thought he was definitely going to make the roster. So I'm sure he'll get picked up fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But Trayvon Diggs obviously is one of the keys to that defense, even being competent at all. Another big one was Matthew Golden is absolutely legit.
Yeah.
He's the Packers' first round wide receiver, and he's just been incredible in the preseason. Electric is what I would say.
Yeah, he looks like a veteran.
And so they always have great receivers. How can they add another great one to the list? It's really amazing to watch Jordan Love with all these weapons. So I'm going to be watching Golden this year.
Yeah.
We mentioned the roster cuts from the 53 roster deadline, which was today. Brown starting center Ethan Pacic injured his knee, which really hurts them. So now they're having to rely on their backup center. And then Aiden O'Connell, who was going to be QB2 for the Raiders, fractures his wrist and is not going to be back to the second half of the year.
And that's why they got Pickett.
Which is why they went and got Pickett. Exactly. Jackson Dart was dealing again in his final preseason game. He just looked fantastic. Like you said, likely not to get a lot of playing time this year, but I think he's ready if he needs to go in. We'll see what Russell Wilson puts on the field the first couple games. Ollie Gordon for the Miami Dolphins. The buzz gets louder and louder. Do you think they can go into the season not playing this guy? I mean, he's playing that well.
I think he's winning QB2 over Jalen Wright.
You mean
So
running RB2?
RB2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a Shane and then Gordon, right?
Yeah.
And you have to give him some carries, I think. I mean, he's really played that well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm just praying McDaniel sticks to the running game this year and doesn't do what he always does, which is abandon it by week 3.
Agreed.
I don't know why he does it.
I don't either.
Tampa Bay lost another receiver to injury. They already had their wide receiver 2 on the slot. Now their wide receiver 4 is out for an extended period of time. So they're going to have to rely on Evans and Igbuka as kind of their primary 2. So, any thoughts on Tampa Bay's injury issues at wide receiver? All of a sudden, they're kind of thin.
No, it's unfortunate, but I think a lot of teams are going through something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some position group is getting kind of decimated.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The Dolphins have lost a bunch of corners.
Right. We'll see what happens. Some scores: Steelers beat the Panthers. What's funny is the Steelers and Panthers have played the last preseason game together the last 7 seasons. I don't know why they always play each other, but
Mm.
I watched this game. Really, the first couple of drives of both teams were worth watching, and then you got into about deep second quarter. It wasn't worth watching anymore. So that's just preseason these days. The Giants beat up on the Patriots, and
Yep.
Travion Henderson continues to be just electric. I mean, you just can't take your eyes off the guy. It's pretty amazing. Maybe the most exciting guy coming out of the preseason as a rookie this year is
Mhm.
Travion Henderson. And then Jackson Dart just tore him up. Patriots backups couldn't stop him. Eagles edged the Jets. Kyle McCord had a pretty good game. Unfortunately, he just got cut today. They just had too many quarterback options.
Yeah.
But especially since they just got Sam Howell in a trade, he was the casualty. I'm thinking they're going to try to store him on their practice squad if nobody picks him up.
It's a good gamble, I guess.
Yeah, he's a late pick, kind of a flyer on him, and he just didn't make it. The room's too crowded right now. So,
Yeah.
Cowboys beat the Falcons. This kid Stick started for the Falcons again. The Falcons have not played any of their starters for the most part in the entire preseason, and they're sitting at 0-3. And so, if I'm an Atlanta fan, I don't really know what I'm getting with the Falcons this year. They just haven't
That's
played
right.
anybody. So, what are your thoughts about that? You think that's a good idea? Playing with
No.
zero?
No, I think you got to do some first quarter.
Yeah,
Let everybody get in a rhythm together.
that's right. Titans beat the Vikings. Titans had a pretty nice little day there, and then Bears edged the Chiefs. Although the Chiefs starters had a nice first half, but this kid Badgett, the backup for Bears, really is pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they got a lot of reason to be hopeful there in
they do,
Chicago.
they do. The Ravens smashed the Commanders. Commanders did like some of the other teams. They basically didn't play any of their starters. Sam Hartman got the start and looked pretty bad with the 2 really bad picks. One was a pick 6 and ended up getting cut. Colts, what do you think of Riley Leonard? Comes from Duke and Notre Dame and just had a really fantastic day. It really looked like he might be a good backup in this league. What are your thoughts about Riley having some success in the NFL?
It's nice to see, you get to know these guys just a little bit in the college circuit, and when they hit the pros, you're kind of rooting for them a little bit. When it happens, you're happy.
He's QB3. He's sitting behind Richardson and Daniel Jones. So not going to get in a game this year, most likely. But he made the roster, and he looked pretty nice in preseason. That was his chance to play a little bit. So I was happy for him. He played so well.
Yeah, same.
Browns edged the Rams. Had a pretty Dylan Gabriel had a really nice day, really solid outing for him. Texans beat the Lions. Broncos over the Saints. They found their backup guy. They weren't sure going into camp, but this guy Erlinger has really been a solid starter for them in these
Yep.
preseason games. Packers had a really nice outing, 20-7 over the Seahawks. Jalen Milroe kind of struggled for Seattle. He clearly needs some more time, more seasoning. And then Zach Wilson and what is his name?
Quinn Ewers.
Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers had a nice day. Malik Washington with a touchdown, which is always
He
exciting.
looked great.
And what a really awesome, shifty touchdown there. And you can see the picture of them in the center of
Yeah.
Malik Washington, but he did this really shifty move to get to the end zone. It was pretty cool to watch. So what a nice hookup that was. So
Yeah.
are you okay with Wilson QB2 and Ewers QB3? You think that's the way it
Yes.
should go? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think Wilson's gotten humbled and probably is a pretty good veteran now. He
Mm-hmm.
can mentor uh, Ewers,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep.
and he's getting called up. There's a trust
Agreed.
there.
Agreed. Some of the NFL news, this was pretty cool. There's 2 weeks in December that this is the situation. You have games every single day, these 2 weeks in December. And you see him almost about to cry there. It's beautiful.
It is.
Oh, man. Men feel there.
What's the tree? Is that Christmas?
Yeah, Chris.
Okay.
Every single day there's a game.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Here's Micah sleeping on the bench during the preseason game. And not a good look. They said they were going to handle it internally. I'm sure that must have been a very interesting conversation that was had by Micah and the team.
Yeah.
So this is pretty interesting. This veteran, Feliciano, who has been in the league for, I think this is his 9th season coming up. And he says, I'm retired for 27 or 28 teams, but there's a handful of teams I'd like to come back to. San Francisco is definitely number one. So do you think these guys feel that way? I mean, they've made their money. They have a lot of money in the bank. They're towards the end of their career. They're about to retire, or they're semi-retired. And they're retired for 27 or 28 teams, but there's a couple that could lure them back. Do you think that's
Probably
how
right.
like Darren Waller got lured back by the Dolphins this year. So I guess you get to that kind of 9, 10-year level, and the only guys you'd come back for maybe are the championship contenders, right?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting way to look at it. Basically, like most
Well,
of
I
the
love
league,
those stories, you know. They
most of
give
the league, I'm retired, except these 4 teams I would play for.
yeah.
You know.
Sure he has his reasons.
So this was pretty sad. Tommy DeVito last year led the Giants with 8 touchdowns.
That's pitiful.
I mean, how pathetic is that? That's why they're so starving for a quarterback. They're just dying for anybody. So this was the rumor that came out this week that I don't agree with. The NFL allegedly told teams not to draft Shador. And this has been pumped in by all the internet, trolls and Facebook and all. Do you really believe there was this grand conspiracy, Robbie,
No.
telling teams not to draft Shador?
No.
I just don't believe it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they want him to be good. That's just my
Yeah,
personal opinion.
I think so. I think though that it's complicated, you know. Teams are looking at it from selfish point of view, and they don't necessarily want players that they can't control.
Well,
And
there
I
are
don't
some
blame them.
teams that don't want the entourage and they don't want
Yeah,
all the hoopla that comes around it.
and the dad walking in and
I mean,
outshining your coordinators and stuff.
do you remember there were some teams that didn't want to touch Tebow for that reason because he brought a whole
Yeah,
amount of scrutiny they didn't want, right?
that's right.
So I do think that's true, but I don't think it's the NFL front office telling them don't draft him. That's ridiculous.
No.
They saw a guy who was going to bring a lot of extra baggage with him.
I think there were a lot of private calls among GMs like, "Hey, what are your thoughts on Shador?" I'm not taking him. Like,
Yeah,
okay, well, I don't think we are either. It wasn't really a conspiracy. It was
it
just
was a
kind of
whispering
we're
campaign.
not
Yeah,
comfortable. Yeah, we're not comfortable
yeah.
taking him. We don't feel like our coaches can handle this hot rod
Mhm.
who's up and down and inconsistent and not going to see the field in year one.
Right. I think some people just don't want the entourage. That's the way I look at it. It has
Yeah,
nothing to do
and
with a
that's what I'm
grand
talking about.
conspiracy. So here was the final stats he had on Sunday, or here's the final stats he had on Saturday. He had 5 sacks, 3 completions, 2.3 yards per attempt. a net of minus 27 yards on 11 dropbacks.
Yeah, terrible.
You don't get much worse.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you, the plays I saw that were a mess, you can learn from that tape, you know?
Mhm.
I think you could learn from the video.
Oh, I do too. 100%.
Like, the video I saw was useful, you know? You could really
So,
point to things that shouldn't have happened.
but to go again, this whole theory, conspiracy theory thing about, Stefanski was trying to sandbag him by giving him the third string, offensive lineman, most of whom got
Nah,
cut. I just don't believe it. He's the
no.
third string QB, so he's with the third string lineman. That's just how it is. And even with those third string linemen, if you talk to a really good analyst who analyzed the film, he'll show you a lot of throws that were missed in that game by Shedeur Sanders. I don't know why, because he hit him against the Panthers. He has the capability.
Oh,
He
yeah,
just
he's got lots
he
of
just didn't play well. So,
he has a high ceiling, but, I mean, he's not gonna hit that very often in year 1.
yeah, that's right. So this is why he's QB3. I mean, it's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
So, here's the final thing with Kurt Warner. I was really looking forward to the competition between Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders in the last preseason game. I know it plays out like this sometimes, but it was a bummer that both didn't have the same ops to make plays. DG played well again, but had good ops to make plays. SS didn't have those same ops. It was hard to make much of an assessment. So he's essentially saying Dylan played with the first and second stringers, and Shedeur didn't and wasn't given a chance or given a fair shot.
Yeah. I mean, it's an opportunity. Take
I mean,
advantage.
to me, Dylan went into the game QB2, and that's where they slotted him. He played second. Shedeur played third. So I don't know. I just think people were disappointed because they wanted to see a really good competition, but it just didn't play out that way.
No.
It is what it is. I don't think it's some grand conspiracy. I think the coaches want these guys to get better. So
Oh, yeah.
so this was amazing. In games that mean something, Andy Reid since 2013 is 171-10. Just think about that.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
incredible.
is he the greatest ever? I mean, I know everyone says Belichick's the GOAT. This guy is starting to knock on the door, right? At least top 5?
No doubt. No doubt. He's done so much.
He's got a lot of hardware in his case. I don't know. I know we appreciate him, but do we appreciate him enough when we look at this? 171-10.
I think so. I
Good
think
lord.
he's clearly developing a lot of great players.
And he's had years where the team was not really that great, and he still went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. He had
So,
outstanding quarterback play and outstanding
you have
couple
to
other
give him
positions.
some credit because he's
Yeah,
pulling that team together.
no doubt.
Yeah. So, this was the breaking news yesterday, and then it got pulled out this morning. Amari Cooper is not going to Dallas. He's actually going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why he changed his mind this morning, but
I don't know.
thoughts about Amari? Does he have anything
Wants
left
to
in the
live in
tank?
Vegas.
Does he have anything left?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a very good receiver. He could help your team with some consistency and some experience and leadership.
Mhm. I think so. I could see why they want him in Dallas, but, I think the Raiders probably need him more. They need weapons right now.
Yeah.
This was pretty cool to look at this starting lineup of the offense of the Carolina Panthers, my team: Bryce Young, Ted McMillan, Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen, JT Sanders, who was one of the real surprises last year at tight end, really good player, Chuba Hubbard, Dowdle, who was a running back from Dallas last year, is
Mhm.
on the Panthers this year, and this guy is saying the best O-line in the NFL, which I'm not sure where he's getting that, but, oh, yeah, the Panthers are back.
I think they've improved some.
Do you think this offense is going to tear some people up this year?
I think the key to the team is going to be their defense. But I think there are going to be moments where the offense looks great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think they can make the playoffs.
And I think the O-line play does matter because, 2 years ago, they had great O-line play and they played well. Last year, it was just okay until the last 6
Yeah,
games when they played better. So
that's right.
O-line play is a real key to it. There's no
It's
question.
like a light went off for Bryce Young.
So this week, because they have such a great and filled up running back room, the Commanders traded Brian Robinson to the 49ers. So what are your thoughts about that trade? Is it better for both teams? They got a pick out of it.
Yeah, I think it was a good trade. I think that Washington wanted to kind of unload one of its unhappy players, a player that didn't fit perfectly in its offensive system, and a good player that has value, others would value. So
And it freed up $3
good
million in
trade.
cap room for McLaurin. This
Yeah,
was kind of the last piece to get McLaurin under contract.
that's right.
And he's a big back, bruising back who's really good at the goal line, but they didn't really feel like they needed him. So
Right. Yeah, I think him playing that style doesn't really fit with what Daniels does.
whereas he can take some of the goal line punishment that they don't want Christian McCaffrey to take. So I think it makes both teams better. I really do. We'll see.
Yeah.
This was Shiloh Sanders' last assessment in terms of his 83 preseason snaps. He had a 39.1 PFF grade, which is abysmal. He had a 38% missed tackle rate, 100% passer rating allowed. Not good. One QB hit, 4 tackles, 2 penalties, and 1 ejection. So, if you're looking at this objectively and you're really analyzing the situation, what they're saying is he didn't earn a roster spot.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? You think that's true?
Yeah, it seems like that he wasn't getting enough results to push your way through the bubble and get onto the roster.
Mhm.
He clearly was close. Like, you can't say he wasn't close, but I think that there wasn't anybody picking against him or trying to not have him on their team. He
He had
doesn't
a
seem,
nice
he doesn't seem like he has a lot of distractions that follow him around.
No, and
But
he had a nice start in camp, and I think the coaches really wanted him to succeed. The players liked him.
yeah,
They
didn't work out.
I think they wanted him to make the team, but he just wasn't good enough. I think he'll get picked up somewhere,
Yeah, oh yeah, sure.
but he's a developmental guy. He was undrafted, and he just didn't make the team. It's really as simple as that. There was no grand conspiracy or anything like
No,
that.
no.
So Vikings traded Sam Howell to the Eagles. I didn't really understand this one at all. And it makes the Vikings quarterback room kind of thin. So why do you
Yeah.
think they did this? It was kind of weird.
I think that's a behind the scenes thing. You need to understand it from standing in their boardroom. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know.
And this let the Eagles get rid of Kyle McCord. So it was kind of a strange because
Right.
they had a full quarterback room. I don't know why they needed Howell. Um, they already had McKee, who's the QB2. He's played really well.
Yeah.
I guess they thought McCord wasn't good enough to be QB3, and Howell is. Maybe that's really just as simple as that.
Maybe they really believe in Howell and they feel like his value is lower than it should be right now, and so they're gonna get a good deal on him.
Mhm. And now the Vikings are scrambling for their QB3. So we'll see if they pick one of these guys up who got cut today, maybe.
Yeah,
But this
that's
was a really,
that's how it's
really
gonna
odd
work.
trade. I didn't see this one coming for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So McLaurin got his 4-year, $117 million extension with $79 million guaranteed. It's
Hmm.
really astounding the amount of guaranteed money these guys are getting these days.
Yeah, he got a good deal.
Yeah, he really did. He did, and I think the team did. I mean, he's the 6th highest wide receiver right now. So it's not like he got max contract. And this
Pretty
was
close
interesting
though.
what his coach said about him. Terry McLaurin isn't just absent, he's creating an underground storm. Every day he's not playing, he's not resting. He's fueling a determination that when he returns, no one will be able to stop him. This isn't just an absence. This is preparation for a revolution. I love that, man. You can tell how much Quinn
That's
loves
when your
him.
coach believes in you.
Do you think the Commanders like this guy?
Yeah.
He's just fiery, man. He's like, he lights the fire of that team. He really
Scary
does.
Terry.
Yeah. He's just like the engine of that team.
Yeah.
So Packers offered 2 first-round picks, a 2nd-round pick, and a 5th-round pick for Micah Parsons. Jerry and Stephen Jones declined. I mean, you're talking like Herschel Walker level of picks here.
I'm absolutely doing that deal.
Wouldn't you take that immediately?
Without question.
2 firsts, a 2nd, and a 5th?
Without question.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what the Packers were thinking, actually. So I don't know. You think he's going to be on the roster now? I said yes 2 weeks ago, but I don't know now. I think he might get dealt.
I think he doesn't want to be there very much. So he's one of
Yeah.
the few cases where when he says to his agent, find something else for me,
Right.
the other guys all seem to be saying, get as much money out of them as you can, but I don't want to move.
That's right.
You know?
I didn't think he was going to get traded, but I think there's a 50-50 chance now he will because he's so disgruntled. And I think he gets
Right.
more disgruntled every week. This was an interesting quote from Milton, who throws the ball really hard. He said, I'm literally not throwing the ball hard. It just comes off my hand like that. I was born and blessed that way. So I feel like if you think I'm throwing the ball hard, then you shouldn't be in the NFL getting paid. Because apparently guys are dropping his ball all over the place in practice because he throws it so freaking hard.
He's got a cannon.
Yeah. So do you think it's that he needs to learn touch? I mean, I feel like you need to have both speeds, right? You can't just
Yeah.
whip the ball every time at a guy who's like 10 feet away or something.
No.
But
Yeah.
I think he's getting a little frustrated that these guys drop it. And I don't know.
He needs to remember that, these are incredibly high skill level professionals. If they're dropping it, maybe there is something he could do differently.
Well, there's this stat called you throw a catchable ball. He needs to throw a catchable ball, right?
Yeah.
It's fine to blister it in there, but if it's not caught, then you've got a problem. So I don't know. That's interesting. I'm going to be kind of following that a little bit. He is a young player. Maybe he hasn't figured out that you need to have touch too. So
Yeah.
this was interesting what this analyst said. He said Jackson Darter's a better player and he's a better athlete than Russell Wilson. So thoughts on that comment.
I don't know. Russell Wilson's a pretty good athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Is he super athletic now in his prime? No, but man, he can scramble.
Do you think at his age right now,
Baseball
Russell
player.
Wilson, if he's compared to Dart, you would agree Dart has a higher upside right now?
Yes.
Higher
Oh,
ceiling.
yes. Right now, yes.
Yeah.
But you're counting on Russell Wilson to teach Dart how to be the best he can be.
Right. He could be a better athlete. Certainly possible. Not impossible. I haven't been able to analyze them like that, so I don't know how he knows that, but it's interesting. Interesting thought there. So this was the whole comment about Chris Godwin's on the shelf. Now they're wide receiver 4. Jalen McMillan's on the shelf. So Egbuka, who's 22 years old, is wide receiver 2, and he's going to have to really dazzle in the regular season because they have such a thin wide receiver list.
Yeah.
You've been calling him out from the very beginning, including in the draft. So do you think
he holds some incredible Ohio State records.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Do you
just a star player.
think he's going to be all that this year?
Yeah.
Kind of like Olave was last year?
Yep.
Yeah. They're really becoming wide receiver U in a lot of ways. So this was crazy, Robbie. The 5 most expensive games this year, if you're just an average fan. Eagles Cowboys $782 is the average ticket price. $782.
It's insane.
So if you take a family of 4, it's like $3,500.
Wow.
Raiders Packers $704.
Raiders, Packers.
Yeah. Chicago Bears, Dallas Cowboys, 596. It's not cheap to go to a game anymore.
No, nothing
Oh
about
my
it is
goodness.
like good family time, you know?
I remember in the days when it was 596 for 4 of you, and you thought that was really expensive. Now that's per ticket.
Yeah.
Wow. The stakes have gone up.
Yeah.
So this was that quote I was telling you about. Really impressed me about Jackson. He said, "I feel like whenever my number is called, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to play my game and I'm going to ball. That's just my mindset. Obviously, Russ is the starter and he's going to do amazing. He's had such a great camp and has played at an elite level. My job is just to be the best teammate and be ready whenever it is. I'm excited for Russ and what he's going to do this year." So could you ask for a better quote from a rookie? Like,
I mean, he says all the
he's
right
that
things.
supportive? Yeah. Like, do you really think he feels that way? I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no pressure on him if
He's basically like, I'm ready, but I know I'm not the starter. So,
yeah.
yeah, it's good. I like it. So this was pretty cool what Tom Brady said about Jaden. He has an incredible combination of skills. He's got the arm strength, the ability to read defenses, and the calm under pressure you just don't see in many young quarterbacks. He's got all the tools to be a future star in this league.
That's high praise, but it's true.
Do you see anything wrong about his analysis?
No, it's right.
The other thing I noticed, I was watching a lot of his highlights from last year. He has a quick release. His release
Yeah.
is so quick.
Yeah,
It's
it's really
out.
nice watching him play the position.
Mhm. Yeah, he's just a star. You and I picked it in that draft 2 years ago. You said he was
Yeah.
gonna be the best player out of that draft.
Him and Bo Nix
So this
were
is
gonna be the two
crazy.
best quarterbacks.
This is crazy. Steve Smith Sr. on my Panthers, he won the Triple Crown on a team that was 28th in the NFL in passing attempts. That's how dominant this guy was.
Wow.
So he basically didn't pass the ball much, and yet he got the Triple Crown in the league. So, do you
That's
think he
crazy.
should be in the Hall of Fame? He's been passed over 3 times.
I think so.
I think he should be in.
Yeah,
He had
he was a special player.
13 dominant seasons, and he was almost unstoppable in his prime.
Yeah.
Man, was he fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like when he would score and he'd be wiping the baby and all that.
He was so intimidating for corners.
He had a little bit of that flair too, kinda like a
Yeah.
Dion kind of flair.
Yeah.
He has some MLB news. Paul Skeens, the guy's just getting better, Robbie. I mean, his outing this weekend, he had 7 innings pitched. He only gave up 3 hits, 0 runs, 0 balls, and 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's bad. He's a incredible pitcher.
Well, this is just through 50 starts. I mean, what is this guy gonna do in his career? He's just, like,
It's
dominant.
hard to say.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can definitely see where it's headed.
I think he's the best pitcher in baseball. I really
Yeah,
do.
I think so too.
Yeah. So Phillies sweep the Mariners, which is impressive because the Mariners are playing good ball. Philly had a really productive series. They had a combined 34 strikeouts and 48 hits to sweep the Mariners. So the Phillies are looking like one of the better teams going into the playoffs right now. They're really playing well.
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler, though, of the Phillies, who's their ace, is going to miss the remainder of the season, which really hurts them.
Yeah, that's sad.
So even though they're playing well, they've lost one of their big rotation guys. And I have to think that's going to hurt them in the playoffs to not have Zach Wheeler. Padres take the NL West lead. This is one you and I have been seeing coming for, 3, 4 weeks now. Finally, they have a 1-game lead over the Dodgers. Dodgers haven't been playing great, and the Padres have been just red hot. And so now they're in the lead in the NL West, and the Dodgers are in wild card position. So what are your thoughts about this? Can the Dodgers get it back? Are they going to be
I think the
heading in?
Dodgers can, but every other team's going to give them their best shot, and some of these talented teams have enough to really push the Dodgers.
Mhm. That's
It's
right.
not surprising that this is happening to the Dodgers.
And you don't really want to come out of the wild card round because it's a 3-game series. Anything can happen. that's not really where you want to be if you have World Series aspirations, which of course the Dodgers do.
That's right.
I really like the Padres. They're playing really good ball.
Yeah, no, they
So
are.
are, so are the Brewers. So are the Phillies. It's a lot of good teams
They
in
have
the
a
National League.
reasonable payroll,
Yeah, that's right.
and they're
So the
really
Braves have given up on their season. They're releasing all kinds of players and they're trading people and putting people on injured lists. So clearly, kind of like the Orioles are making a lot of moves. Those teams that know they're out of it. Sad to see, but Braves and Orioles are out of the race.
know your
The
limit.
Cal Raleigh's HR record. So he continued to make history past Ken Griffey Jr. in the Mariners home run book, and then of course broke the all-time record for a catcher over the weekend. So this guy's just absolutely on fire.
Unbelievable.
And then lots of call-ups coming up with those teams that are out of it and bringing guys up from the minors. Pirates brought up Bubba Chandler. Of course, the Orioles just brought up Samuel Basallo, their first-round pick this year. And then Garcia for the Red Sox was also called up. So these are all the top picks that have been sitting in AAA all year and are going to get about a month's worth of action. So,
I like it.
any other big stories out of MLB that you saw coming?
Not really. Those were the main ones.
Milwaukee finally lost a game. They won 16 in a row and finally lost a game,
Yeah.
but they're still really hot.
Oh, the Red Sox clobber the Yankees this week.
I saw that. That was nice to see.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to say.
that's good.
All right, we have a fun subscriber challenge for you guys this week, so definitely drop us a comment. The first one is, you ready for this, Robbie?
Let's go.
Which receiver has got to go? Calvin Johnson,
Ooh.
Terrell Owens, Larry Fitzgerald, or Randy Moss? Who are you kicking off the squad if you have a 3-man squad? One got to go.
God,
I know who it is for me. It's Terrell Owens, although he was good.
I think I'm going with Fitzgerald.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson are once in a lifetime talents. There's no way you're
Right.
kicking them off your team. Two of the best ever. And then I don't know. Fitzgerald for me is so reliable
I agree. I like
that
him. I just if you have to get rid of one guy.
because Terrell Owens was just a little bit off for me, and he was kind of I don't know, a little unreliable sometimes. Good player, but I would say Terrell Owens. So, guys, drop us a comment. Which of these guys got to go? So the second one is interesting. Who's going to lead the league in rushing in 2025? We got to go on the record now, Robbie. We're a week and a half away. So you got Derrick Henry, you got Ashton Genty, the rookie, you got McCaffrey, you got the Super Bowl winner there from the Eagles. You could have another guy in your mind who might lead the league this year in rushing. Who do you guys think? Last year was Derrick Henry.
I would say Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think I'm gonna pull back on that because I think Montgomery's gonna get enough carries to hold
And
it
then
back a
Saquon
little bit.
Barkley last year was 2. So it was Derrick Henry and then Saquon Barkley last year.
I think I'm gonna say Saquon Barkley.
You think he's going to win it this year?
I think so.
I like Derrick Henry again. I think he's going to get it 2 years in a row. Rushing winner. I think it's going to go 1-2 again, him and Saquon, and then I
Yeah.
think 3 might be Ashton Genty. I think he might have that good a
Yeah, I
year.
think Genty's gonna get so many carries that
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun to watch. All right. Well, before we start, Robbie, first one is we were talking about Ohio State as wide receiver U. Take a look at this, these contracts that these Ohio State Buckeyes have now that Scary Terry has signed. Garrett Wilson, McLaurin, Marvin Harrison Jr., Curtis Samuel, Olave, Egbuka, Jamison Williams, and Smith and Jigba. And it says, stop debating Ohio State as wide receiver U. And of course, they have the best receiver this year, too, coming up. So,
Yeah.
do you think they are now, or is it still LSU? Or
It's definitely between those two schools. I still think LSU, but Ohio State's really making a push.
Hmm. This is amazing to see this many great receivers from one school
Yeah, I
at the
agree.
same
That's a
time. That's
lot.
crazy. Yeah. So the next one is here, two of the worst logo changes ever. I want to get your take on this, Robbie. Obviously, the Cracker Barrel one has been received very poorly by the public. People do not
Yeah.
like them taking away the old traditions. And what do you think? You like the old Dolphins logo with a helmet, or you like the new, improved, streamlined one?
I like the new one, honestly.
Do you?
I don't think a lot of what I do is old school. Everything I like is old school.
Yeah.
I think the helmet looks a little silly on the old one.
So you like the new one better? Okay.
I do.
Do you agree the Cracker Barrel one is not as good?
Terrible. It's
Yeah.
the worst.
So
Nobody's
Dolphins, you like the
defending it.
new
It's
one?
terrible.
Okay. All
I
right.
like
Cool.
the dolphin in the new one. It's a little tougher looking, no silly helmet that looks
I
drawn
kind of like.
on.
I kind of like them both. I don't know. I kind of like the old one and the new one.
Yeah, fair.
I'm gonna hand it to you.
All right, mailbag. Let's go. We had a lot of really good feedback this week. Really appreciate everyone taking the time to follow us, to commit to sitting and watching us, and also taking the time to give us feedback, whether it's encouragement or whether it's a question or whatnot. That's what the mailbag's all about. All right, first one. Really enjoyed your insight on the rookie class at Brian David Mitchell.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, we've been following the rookie class ever since the draft episode. Hopefully, you saw that one. And we like watching these rookies, how they do, whether they make the team, whether they can be a contributor. Some of them got cut today, unfortunately, but
Yeah,
really
it's
interesting to watch the rookies, the new guys to the league.
it's not a surprise to see, but it's unfortunate. But you do invest in these guys a little bit emotionally when they're in college and sort of they're coming back, and you buy in a little bit more, and you're part. It's like you join their brand, kind of.
And quite a few of these guys who did get cut today, they'll get picked up. They're going to be on
Yeah,
practice squads. They're going to get picked up by other teams. I think
well,
Shiloh will get picked up. I think Kyle McCord will definitely get picked up.
yeah.
He's a
A lot of them
rising
will
senior.
end up on a practice squad.
Hmm.
And
For
let's
sure.
face it, you start having injuries, and everyone panics and starts,
Well,
shopping.
that's why they have a 12-person practice squad is for injuries, because about
Yeah,
midway through the season, they're decimated.
that's right.
So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Brian David Mitchell. Next one, really insightful, made me think about some of the roster decisions differently at Bradley Gonzalez.
That's great, Bradley. Yeah. Anything we give you that's insightful that makes you think differently, that's a great thing. We're happy you look at it that way.
Yeah, hopefully we can just add enough information out there of what we think. It's not a lot of it's not fact. It's just based on how we see facts, and we're just trying to project out who's going to do well and why, and what we're seeing versus you know being in the room. You're going to hear a lot more information, but we have our ear to ground. We learn as much as we can, and hopefully we are a little bit insightful sometimes. Next one. This is exactly what I needed to get caught up on the NFL. Brian Mary Gonzalez.
Hey, thanks, Brian. Yeah, we try to bring all the good stuff to you every week, and hopefully you're finding it enjoyable and it becomes part of your entertainment every week. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we like catching up on the NFL as well.
We
And
do.
it's kind of our passion.
You can see there's so much action every week. It's really hard to keep up with all of it.
It
And
is
there's
hard.
breaking news. Yeah,
We love
we
it,
do.
but it's definitely cool to go to podcasts, and we do too. To go look at what other people are saying, and sort of we square it against what we already think, and what we, sometimes they change my mind, and other
Hmm.
times it sort of makes me feel more strongly about what I think. So
Hmm.
Last one. This is a must watch for any NFL fan during cutdown week. Very timely conversation there. At Christopher Diaz, 2006.
Thanks, Christopher. Yeah, we try to bring you the really kind of up-to-date stuff with the cuts and with the injuries and with the roster moves and the QB battles. So, yeah, glad you're enjoying it.
Cutdown week is very interesting because it's such a game of chess. Should we put them on the practice squad? Should we cut them and re-sign them to see if anyone out there is going to take a chance on them? Um, you know, Getting down to the 53-man roster is brutal because really
Mhm.
every team would love to keep about 65 minimum. So
Mhm.
they have to get rid of players they like.
No doubt. We think about it, they started the week last week with 85 players, and they had to get down to 53. And that's a huge cut.
Yeah, it is.
So you had most teams having to let 12 to 18 guys go on a Monday. So that's why today is such a brutal day for these players.
Yeah.
They get the little slip in their locker, and it's a dreaded slip. It's one they don't want to
Yeah,
see.
it's come meet us in the office, and then
Right, and they know what that means.
yeah, and they say, "Give me your playbook."
Right,
Mm.
not good.
And that is the mailbag.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for all the great comments and follows and subscribes, and we just can't thank you enough for that. Robbie, final thoughts as we head into a first full week of college football.
Very excited about college football starting, but I'm really, really excited about Ohio State, Texas. That is going to be one of the most exciting games of the year just because of the level of talent that's rolling out on that field. Yeah.
What snacks are you gonna have for that one? Because I know I'm gonna be in my chair, I'm gonna have my feet up. I'm gonna
God,
have I'm gonna have my really good beverage sitting right
I
here.
have to have wings. I have to.
It's gotta be wings, it's gotta be, like, some nuts, maybe some popcorn, maybe a dog or 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have
Definitely.
a episode coming up, guys, in a couple weeks. We're gonna be talking about football snacks. It's gonna be a really fun one, so be
Yeah.
thinking about that as we come up to it. But, yeah, I think Rob and I are gonna have some snacks this weekend.
Real excited about football going off, and baseball is getting good. It's getting into that juicy playoff run. Uh,
And just a reminder, we got a really great suggestion last week from one of you who emailed us that you wanted us to have a fantasy update
mhm.
every week on the weekend recap, and we're going to do that once fantasy season starts. Our draft is 9 days from today, and so we're excited about that. And Jess is in it this year, so
Yeah,
it's going to be fun to see how we do. But be looking for that in our weekend recaps. We're going to do a fantasy update where we look at the top scores from the week.
yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be good for us too to stay fresh with that, so we can make sure we're not making any mistakes in our fantasy league as well.
Indeed,
But I think it'd be useful if you're out there and you're busy, getting one more set of
it
uh,
will.
facts to work off of. So
We'll even put, like, who are the top 2 or 3 pickup guys and drop guys. We'll put those in there too, just so
yeah,
it gives you a good sense for in your league who you should be looking at, so.
but it brings me to thanks for recommending that out there.
Mhm.
It was a
It's a
great
great idea.
idea.
Mhm.
Pass them along. Keep the ideas coming. Let's see it.
Fantasy zone or something like that. We'll have to
Yeah,
figure out what to call it, so.
yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time on the Sports Guys, and have a fantastic week of football coming up.
See you
Have a
soon.
have a great one.